looked at me a couple years ago, and some people would still argue if you look at me today, you would think I had this like great, perfect life, but we all know social media is a lie. Though I have an awesome, supportive husband who's actually the only male in the room, but that's because he works at Radio Milwaukee, so cheers to Radio Milwaukee and him. We traveled the world. I did an Ironman. I helped open this incredible school. I work with kids. Everything was going really well for me. And then something a lot of you I know can connect with, or you know someone who can, I had a really traumatic miscarriage 2 years ago. And there was surgery and procedures and all these awful things, and we finally got through it, we thought, and we went to Amsterdam, and then it wasn't over, and we got trapped there for almost a month. And while Dutch hospitals are awesome and very affordable, this was hard on me. And the side note is this turned out well, and I eventually got pregnant again. I have a beautiful little boy. Thanks, guys. Thank you. But that was really, really hard. And I came back to work and started having feelings that at first I didn't know what they were, but guess what? They were panic attacks. And it got so bad that I couldn't wear long sleeves to work because they would make me so anxious. There were a couple rooms in my building I couldn't have meetings in because I was so claustrophobic in them. I started getting help and saw a therapist, which was great, but I didn't want to tell anyone, so I just had a lot of doctor appointments. And I just started to think, how can this coexist? How can I have this great job and be successful and be fighting all these things? And so I started to lose my confidence. But then I had a little bit of a breakthrough. I was sitting in an HR meeting, and I'm the head of HR, so I have a lot of difficult conversations with people. And through this meeting, I was being positive and supportive and helpful and smiling. And I walked out thinking, I am smiling, and inside I am feeling all these things. How many meetings a day do I go through with people smiling? How many conversations in the hallway do people smile? And they are feeling something inside too. And so I stopped and started opening up about all that I was going through. And not like an in-your-face way, like, hey, do you hear I'm having panic attacks? But I just slip it into conversations. And I'd start saying in a normal sort of way, like, hey, I'll be back in an hour, I'm going to see my therapist. Or I'd just start bringing it up bit by bit, little by little. And what happened was magical. My team started opening up too. And I started hearing what they were carrying. All of them had something. Not many of them had panic attacks, but they had something inside that they were wrestling with, whether they were worrying about someone they care about, they had anxiety over something coming up. And so that changed how I lead. And it sounds a little cheesy, but now I lead with so much more compassion and flexibility. And I'm an accountant by trade, so I like rules and black and white. But I had to learn to lead in the gray and to let rules bend and change. And I actually had gotten to the point where I'm lucky enough in my organization that I could change rules. I wrote in new HR policies. We now allow paid mental health leave, paid leave to support family members. And what I found, because look, from the finance standpoint, I was budgeting for their payroll anyway. So if they were going to take unpaid time, who is that helping? It's not helping them. It doesn't make them feel loved. And they're coming back after that more dedicated, more supportive, and just different people. My employees are better because we can have these conversations. So as you think about leveling up your career in 2020, I actually want you to think about the thing you think is your greatest weakness. Maybe it is standing up on stage like this. Maybe you want to be more assertive in meetings. Maybe you want to be more organized. Take